Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with Golden Opportunities Coaching. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of psychological, mental health, emotional health, and coaching paradigm. We do that as often as we can, although I haven't been around as much lately. Anyway, regardless, going to try and be here more in 2023. This is kind of looking at how to know if you're dealing with a narcissist during the holiday season. Narcissism affects, depending on the statistics you read, somewhere between 1 in 5 to 1 in 6 people in the United States. That means chances are you know at least a few, if not several of them. It's also more likely if you have one person with narcissistic tendency in a family line that you can have multiple. So if you know someone that has that tendency in your family line, chances are there are more than one individual, and it can be cross-generational, so that's something to look at as well. But how do you know you're dealing with that type of person during the holidays? Because that's actually one time of the year that many with a narcissistic tendency will kind of pop out. Number one, they're going to fish for information. The information that they are fishing for is usually in an effort to try to understand where the leverage is with you when they need something. So they may act and feign a level of concern for your well-being, for your goals, for the things that matter to you, and in effort to keep you talking. The more information you give them without them giving back, ultimately it's you know ultimately going to be something that they really care a lot about. But you'll notice that you do a lot more talking and become a lot more emotional about the things that ultimately are there. They may feign the desire to protect you either from a circumstance or yourself, but really what happens with that is it's a leverage game to try to get you to owe them something. In other words, I helped you with this, or I was there for you during this, this, and that. Now you need to be there for me in a way that isn't necessarily healthy or balanced. And so usually what happens is they will have a very transactional relationship towards just interacting in a short sense, and then ultimately lead to going in a direction that is making bigger and bigger asks. Now, if you're not keeping track of this, you may just think they have more challenges than you do, but in reality, generally speaking, they are dealing with, how to leverage your emotions and make you ultimately indentured to them. The next thing is they will beg for your compliance with situations. And the begging usually sounds like, can't you make an exception? Don't I matter enough to you? So it's almost a begging mixed with gaslighting to get you to question whether you're being too harsh with not necessarily hearing them out or complying with their request. Doing this repeatedly can also lead to you being worn down kind of by like a war of attrition, where it's almost like you think, hey, you've been asking so much, it's easier to give in. And so then they've gotten what they wanted without actually making any concessions on their own. Remember, the narcissist is a person who only wants to gain while giving the least amount possible. They will insist that their approach to things is all about common sense and making your life easier, and they'll spin it in ways based on conversations that of things that you have learned about them and they have learned about you over a span of time. So what begins to happen is they convince you that their ideas are your ideas, and after a while you start to think like they do. That's the ultimate plan. The plan is to get you to think like they do, so that you don't necessarily feel like there's a reason to question them at any level. If they question your integrity, your common sense, or your intelligence, you're going to be more likely, especially if they're linguistically gifted, to back down on things even if they don't feel right in you. That's why it's important to pay attention to your intuition as it relates to dealing with people with narcissism. They will use flashback of memory. And flashback of memory is times that they've done something for you, or good memories that you have with them, so that when they ask for something, you feel badly about not complying with their ask, or being able to comply with their ask. And that becomes super challenging for a number of reasons, partially because you start to question, am I being cold? Am I being harsh? Am I being uncaring? Are they really asking for that much? And all of these internal questions that you're struggling with is exactly where they want you to be. They want you to question your integrity as a person. They want you to question what it is that you're not doing for them so that they can get away with not really giving as much as they're asking you to give in the relationship. Hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.